Why, hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as Screen Speak, and today's video is the highly anticipated Zootopia 2 spoiler review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alrighty guys, so I'm very happy today to come at you with, I'm looking at my computer, I'm on my computer here, gonna try to give you guys all the references in this movie, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a description and my thoughts on it and review, rating at the end, but I'm very pleased to say that last week I enjoyed Predator so much the start of November, and Running Man the second week of November, and this is the first week of December. I'm going to see Five Nights at Freddy's 2 this weekend. I'll review that next week, but the month of November ended on a good swing. I watched the Stranger Things first, Volume 1, and then Zootopia 2, and after my disappointment of Wicked for Good, I know there's a lot of fans of that movie, and I've heard some people saying similar things that I have, but I really just was underwhelmed by Wicked. I'm a big musical guy, and the problem was I made a review on it, but I was just really underwhelmed because I was a musical guy. And really excited for that film. But Zootopia 2 is a real giant breath of fresh air. And before I get into the actual references and review thoughts, this is part of the review, but after Inside Out 2, my main criticisms of that film, it's not directed by Pete Docter, it's not composed by one of my top two composers, like my favorite modern composer over, Daniel Pemberton does great at my favorite movie, Across the Spider-Verse, but Michael Giacchino, I love his scores, and I was pulled out of Inside Out 2 without his score, and I cannot wait for Incredibles 3 to hear what he can do with that film, Incredibles 3. And now, after seeing Zootopia 2, all I can say is I want a third. I need a third one now, before Inside Out 3. Like, don't even start. I know you might be saying, well, they're two different animation studios. I know that, but just don't focus on Zootopia or don't focus on Inside Out right now. And if they were going to make an Inside Out 3, please bring Michael Giacchino back. That's all I'm going to say. But I was on the edge of my seat from beginning to end. I loved it from beginning to end, and I want to rewatch this as many times as I can. If I was not an illegal person, I would download it, but I'm joking. But I would go ahead and just watch this on Disney Plus as many times as I can. I'd go back to the theater to watch this as many times as I can. So there are so many references in this movie. I think that this is what Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet wants to be, and the fact that this is 10 years of almost 10 years of waiting for a sequel, and now that we finally have it, and it's referencing things like, for instance, Ratatouille, 2 inside jokes, or 2 jokes in one. So we see Ratatouille pulling on the lion's hair like the movie Ratatouille, and him cooking the food, the meal Ratatouille, and the little raccoon chef next to him referencing Everything Everywhere All at Once, the joke Ratatouille, which is in that movie. You hear that in that moment, the Easter egg goes deep. In that moment, you hear the music from Ratatouille, which was composed by Michael Giacchino, which was awesome, and the accordion you can hear played by Michael Giacchino, and there's a Ratatouille reference from Everything Everywhere All at Once, which Ke Huy Quan stars in, which is the voice of Gary the Snake here, and I also love that Ke Huy Quan does voice Gary the Snake. It's so great, and there's little voice cameos by Macaulay Culkin. I wish he would have gotten more screen time. Andy Samberg, who is the twist villain, which we'll get to what happens with him later. There is a Pan reference when Nick Wilde whacks Gary the Snake with a pan, and then later when Andy Samberg was taken out with the pan at the end by the pig or the boar, not the boar, but like the big pig cops, and then at the end they make a reference to Babe, that'll do pig, that'll do, which is a great reference. And this pan reference comes from the movie Tangled, when Rapunzel hits Flynn Rider with the pan. So I love the nods to Ratatouille, Tangled, the other Disney movies in the past era. And early Pixar, there's a poster on the character Paul that's voiced by Josh Gad, referencing A Bug's Life, and I guess there's a tiny Mickey Mouse figure. I already mentioned the That'll Do Pig, That'll Do, the Babe reference. And then there's Easter eggs that kids probably shouldn't understand. But before I get to that, I do want to mention more of the cast and their charm. I did mention Josh Gad is a voice here. There's some other, like, there's Ed Sheeran that does like that is singing in the song that Shakira sings. So Shakira and Ed Sheeran are bits in here, singing roles. And like Shakira was in the last one. And like I said, Andy Samberg, Macaulay Culkin, which I wish we got more screen time, more voice time from more of a role from Macaulay Culkin, but I'll see him in Fallout in just a week here, or a couple weeks here, so that's cool. And then, Fortune, the comedian of Fortune, is the Beaver Maple Sticks or something. I forget what her name is. Middle Sticks or something. And Kiki Kwan is Gary the Snake. And there's some other let's talk about Patrick Warburton as the Horse Mayor. He is great in everything he's in. Family Guy, B-Movie, Ted, him dressed as Ted, referencing the Tick, him as the Tick. There's just things Kronk in Emperor's New Groove. Is there anything Patrick Warburton cannot do? He is great in this role, and I love him so much. And I want to see him more in the sequels they make. And by the way, this is my favorite Disney. By the way, before I get to the other references, can I just say this is my favorite Disney sequel? I like this better than Frozen 2, which I love Frozen. I love both Frozens. I love this more than Frozen 2. I love this more than Wreck-It Ralph 2, understandably so. I love this more than Inside Out 2. Now, I said this is my favorite Walt Disney animation sequel, and I enjoyed this more than Inside Out 2 because of the whole, I think it should be the same director, I think it should be the same composer. Like, if you lose your director on at least the second movie, it kind of falls apart, in my opinion, and the composer. Like, the composer should at least try to be there. Now, Avatar 2 is a different thing, because they have the same director, but the composer died, so I'm going to make that caveat, but this one was great. Michael Giacchino, I love it. So I'm going to go in. By the way, Jason Bateman and Jennifer Goodwin are still the kick-ass duo, excuse my language, the perfect duo in this movie. And their buddy cop relationship, their bond gets stronger as they pronounce their love and affection for each other. Maybe they'll get married in the next one, have a kid. I mean, that's what they start out this mission with. They start out with the fake kid premise, so that's funny. And so one of my favorite gags in this movie, I'm probably gonna want to say that for the last. Oh, okay. There is a moment where oh my God, what's her name? Mayor Linkletter? Whoever the sheep is. It's probably gonna say Bellwether, Dawn Bellwether. Jenny Slate is, she's in a cell. It looks like Hannibal Lecter's Silence of the Lambs. And that scene used to be 4 minutes long. And so then they made it look like a scene in a jail cell to make it look like Hannibal Lecter's Silence of the Lambs, which is really clever. I didn't catch it, but my dad said that, and I was like, I love that they referenced that. They mentioned another horror film. I want to see if there's anything else before I get there. Okay, I'm going to mention all these at the end. So, there is a Shining reference, like in the climax of the film, there is a big homage to The Shining with the hedge maze, and it just pans up as it pans down to it, and you just hear the synth chords down, 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 down. I was like, yes, let's go. I already knew that there was a Shining reference in the movie, but I didn't know. And then when Andy Samberg's character, Paubert, is like running on a limp, and I'm like, this is genius. This is genius, because I watched The Shining earlier in the month of October to get ready for, like in my horror month, And this movie just killed it with the references and the pun, like even him limping. Like it wasn't just the music, but then like the character was limping. Like what is his name? What is his name? Oh my gosh, Jack Nicholson, like Jack Nicholson does. All right, so then there are some funny signs, titles, and wordplay on Hulu Zoo, which I don't like that. I like Disney Plus better. I like Disney Plus better than Hulu Zoo, because Hulu Zoo just is adding zoo to the end of Hulu. It's not like Who's Whoozoo. It should be like Whoozoo, but I don't know. There's Rat Geo instead of National Geographic, Elks instead of ESPN, Pixar instead of Pixar, Star Wars instead of Star Wars, and there's Hamilton instead of Hamilton, Platypus instead of Alien, which works better if you see it in the Alien font, which in my interpretation, I was just interpreting platypus like Romulus. That would that works too. Die Hard, I did not see that one instead of Die Hard. Ramdor or Andor, Future Llama instead of Futurama, Piggity Falls instead of Gravity Falls, and while it's not yet on Hulu, as this article says here, they also passed a poster for an upcoming film whose title may be familiar to Star Wars fans, The Pandalorian and Grogu, which chronicles the adventures of Dingo Djarin. Dingo Djarin. All right. Instead of his actual name, which is something else. So Ariel's grotto, like in The Little Mermaid, is a reference in the shop in Marsh Market and Reptile Hangout. And there's another shop next to the Ariel one called Hook's Bait and Tackle, reference to Peter Pan. And there's a neon sign in the Reptile Hangout called Mr. Toad's. Does this mean a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride to Disney World back in Florida? Yeah, I don't know. I saw the sign in the film, but I didn't know that was a reference to there was a ride there, because I've never done everything at Disney World, so I didn't know that. But that's cool that they reference those things. And by the way, another thing I want to get out of here is like the Danny Trejo character. Loved his voice in this. Little like reference to Rango possibly. Did they see if they mention that? There's like they mentioned like Dwayne The Rock Johnson gets his like Zeke, aka the Dick stuck in the tuba. I saw that in the end credits, and I didn't know. I also mentioned Josh Gad, but I didn't know that he was going to be a voice. But it doesn't reference anything to Moana. It's just saying, I guess. Oh, Maui, a girl who voices Maui is the voice of the anti-venom pen. That's cool. But again, it's not like I would have noticed that because it wasn't like a straight gag to Moana. But unlike Duke Wesselton provides his role, who's been in other Disney films, and I believe he has like there's like a reference to Indiana Jones and Star Wars. Like he's selling the same DVDs again, the bootlegger DVDs, like he did in the last one. It says there's a reference to I mentioned Olaf, and then the Moana thing. The animation is gorgeous. Like I love the Danny Trejo like Rango cameo there, like reference there, which isn't a Disney film, but I just like the reference. And the animation is gorgeous in all these different areas, like the snow, the snake texture, the fur, the like what they show, like the reptiles eating flies, and there's the texture in the bar and all these different environments. I just love it all. I just kind of like the way this movie flows, like the environments and the transitions, and the music makes it feel way more than, it's not better than Inside Out, but I like this continuation more than what Inside Out 2 brought us. So I'm going to be definitely watching this movie on repeat. Okay, I need to read this article here. So besides Princess Diana's Squeal of Fortune, John Leguizamo provides the voice of Anthony Snootley, an anteater and smuggler. Is John Leguizamo in this movie? I need to do, which was previously the voice of Bruno in Encanto. I guess he was the anteater. I forgot the name of the animal that he was. He was an anteater. I guess he was the voice of that. There are big celebrity cameos in Zootopia 2, which there are. My favorite is Michael J. Fox, who plays a character named Michael J. Naturally, a fox. is that the fox who was in the jail cell? I think that was, because I was thinking when they were walking through the jail cell that was Gideon Gray, but I'm like, it's not Gideon Gray, because why would he be in jail when he was helping out the parents last time? That's crazy. And then it just mentions other random crap, like A Family Affair. All right, I definitely enjoyed this film. Co-directors Brian Howard and Jared Bush. I believe that they were the directors of the first one. Let me go see Zootopia. Directors. Rich Moore did the first one. Rich Moore and Brian Howard. So Brian Howard came back and Jared Bush. But I think Jared Bush... Let me look up Jared Bush. Jared Bush movies. He did Encanto. Okay, I think he worked on Zootopia. Yeah, well, he worked on... Yeah, okay. And this was better than Moana 2 from last year, guys. This was better than Moana 2. I can't even find the first Zootopia. Was he a producer? Was Jared Bush a producer? It doesn't even say. Well, regardless, I definitely enjoyed this way more. I enjoyed this more than Moana 2, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Inside Out 2, Frozen 2. I enjoyed this more than Frozen 2. And those Zootopia shorts, I definitely recommend you watch those. I enjoyed this more than Raya and the Last Dragon, which isn't a sequel, but it was also a Disney animated film. I was like, eh. But I am definitely on the Zootopia train. This franchise needs to last a long time. This needs to go on for... I think they need to... Like, the end credit scene showed, like, the bird thing, and that was amazing. So we're going to get a tease of birds in the next one, a third one about birds. And we haven't seen, like, the jungle yet. We saw a koala was very cute at the end of this film, but maybe we go down the path of, like, the jungle. We already have a snake, which is, I guess, in the jungle, but technically... Well... But we haven't seen, like... jungle animal. We haven't seen mammals, but we haven't seen like the strict jungle biome, I don't think. So maybe we could tackle that or tackle penguins. I mean, those are birds, so we just have the whole birds. We just have all the birds. We have penguins in the next one. Let's go! Penguins are my favorite animal, so I can't wait for the next movie. Come on, Zootopia 3, let's go. This movie, I gotta give my rating. So this is an A+, 90%, 9 out of 10. It's not as good as the first one, but this is a 9 out of 10, and I love this movie so much. 90%, 9 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, or 9.5 out of 10. Hell with it. 9.5 out of 10, 95%, and an A+, all around. So, don't forget to leave your thoughts on Zootopia 2 down in the comment section below. What was your favorite reference from this movie? Oh, and the other Everything Everywhere All at Once reference was, there were two of them, the Racket Cooney thing and the fanny pack that the snake had, because Ki-Hee Kwan, who voices Gary the Snake, had a fanny pack in Everything Everywhere All at Once. So that was another one that I loved. I love that they just referenced that. I hope they did that on purpose. The references were on point in this movie. So, that's what I caught. Did you notice anything else? Did you notice any other references that I missed? What was your favorite reference that I talked about here today? What did you think about Inside Out 2? I didn't like that so much. What did you think about Zootopia 2? Loved it a lot. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.